Hello everyone, and welcome to this quick overview of using Copilot with Business Central Insights. Before you get started, make sure the Power BI workspace is assigned to a fabric capacity. Copilot will not be enabled with a standard Power BI Pro or Premium per user license alone. Once that's set up, you can open Copilot by clicking the Copilot icon here, which opens the Copilot pane alongside your report. There are two main ways I find Copilot useful with Business Central Insights. The first is exploring your existing data. You can ask questions about a report, a particular visual, or the underlying semantic model. So Copilot also provides some suggested prompts to help you get started. For example, you can ask it to prepare a summary, identify what stands out in the data, or highlight anything critical that you might need to follow up on. Let's try that one. As I'm currently on the Finance Insights homepage, Copilot analyzes the information available through the whole underlying semantic model and returns a list of key findings. As you can see, it bullet points the main findings, such as a long conversion cycle or service income is sharply down. And for each finding, Copilot also gives us some supporting detail. Here, for example, it tells us that net profit is down 15.1%, even though net profit margin remains at 49.4% and compares it to the previous fiscal year to date even. You'll also notice these small reference numbers beside the answers. If I hover on one of them, Copilot shows me where that information has come from. And if I click on that reference, it takes me directly to the relevant visual in the report. So rather than simply giving you an answer, Copilot helps you trace that answer back to the underlying report. Now let's have a look at the specific report page. I can clear the previous conversation and ask, what is this report page about? Copilot structures a summary by first identifying the main trend or issue, then supporting it with key figures. It breaks analysis down by relevant periods or categories, highlights the largest contributing factors, and finishes with an overall conclusion. It also provides references to the report visuals, linking each finding back to the supporting data. But you're not limited to the suggested prompts. You can ask your own questions as well. For example, I've noticed some sharp drops in net profit margin, so I'm going to ask a more detailed two-part question. What caused the sharp drops in net profit margin in June and August? And which income or expense accounts had the biggest impact? Copilot can then investigate those periods and explain the factors that contributed to those changes. For more complex questions like this, it may work through the analysis in stages, and then I can continue the conversation with follow-up prompts to investigate individual months, accounts, or particular movements in more detail. This is where the conversational side of Copilot becomes particularly useful. You can start with a broad question, identify something interesting, and then continue narrowing down your investigation without having to manually search through every visual. So that's the first major advantage of Copilot. As always, AI-generated answers should be reviewed, particularly when you're using them to support business decisions. However, Copilot provides a quick and intuitive starting point for analyzing your data and identifying areas that may deserve further investigation. The second advantage takes this a step further. Using the Business Central Insights semantic models, Copilot can also help you create your own Power BI reports and visuals without having to build everything manually. You can use Copilot for this in both Power BI Service and Power BI Desktop. For creating new reports, Power BI Desktop is our preferred approach because it gives you the full report building experience while still allowing you to use Copilot to help create and refine report pages and visuals. For this demonstration though, I'll start in Power BI Service because it's a quick way to show how Copilot can use the underlying Business Central Insights semantic model to suggest report content. To start, open the relevant Power BI workspace. I'm using the Warehouse Insights workspace here. Next, by semantic model, open the three-dot More Options menu and select Create Report. This opens a new report in Power BI Service using that semantic model. From here, I can open Copilot and ask it to suggest content for the report. When I select Suggest Content, Copilot looks at the underlying semantic model and recommends some possible areas that could be useful to analyze. In this example, it's suggesting warehouse inventory utilization, picking and put away performance, item velocity and ABC analysis, and bin replenishment thresholds. Let's take a look at picking and put away performance. So I click that, and then Copilot creates a report page based on that suggestion. And it's not just one visual. As you can see, it's created KPIs at the top showing the number of picks and putaways, with reports showing these for the quantity by date, then by employee, as well as for location over here, and then the number of lines by date too. There is even slicers, so you could choose a specific year or location and the drop down just like this. Instead of starting with a completely blank report, Copilot has given a useful starting point that we can then review, adjust, and build on. The suggested content is useful for discovering different ways to analyze the semantic model, but you're not restricted to Copilot's recommendations. You can also tell Copilot exactly what you want to create. I'm going to switch over into the manufacturing insight semantic model. If you click Create a New Report page, it will ask you for a bit more direction. It's asked for the main purpose of the page, key metrics, if there's a time focus or any specific breakdowns, and if you would like filters, and then explains what it will do with that information. You can have a conversation and refine what you need, ask advice, and collaborate with Copilot to get the dashboard that you are after. But let's say you have a meeting and you want a chart showing production order quantities by location for the current year. So something quite specific. So you just type in the prompt that you want. I cheated and copy and pasted, and then click send, and then wait for it to work its magic. It will often make each visual in stages, as you can see happening on the top left there. And there you go, it's done. It tells you what it's created just here, and then it will add some suggestions for alternatives. You will also need to adjust the size to suit how big or small you like it. So just drag it out to the size you'd like, just like this. And then from here, I could prompt for another visual to be add another page with different visuals, change the way the information is displayed, or ask Copilot what other report would work well alongside the visual that you've just created. So I'll type that in, see what it comes up with. And it's given some suggestions here: trends over time, production orders by status, top end locations, or a single KPI card. But let's add the trend over time. So I'm just going to ask for that, type that in. And now you've got two well-paired visuals on your one page. And now you can actually cross-filter. So I can click on one of the locations here, and that will reflect in the other visual. As I mentioned earlier, you can also use Copilot directly in Power BI Desktop when you're creating a new report from scratch. This is the approach we recommend. You can connect your report to the relevant Business Central Insight semantic model, open Copilot in the Power BI Desktop, and then use the same natural language approach I've just walked through right now. The important thing is that the results are based on the Business Central Insight semantic model. So you're using the existing data structure and measures while creating reporting that's specific to what you want to analyze. And that's a quick look at the two main ways Copilot can enhance Business Central Insights. Firstly, it can help you explore the data behind your existing reports by asking questions in natural language, summarizing what you're seeing, and helping you investigate the drivers behind the numbers. Secondly, it can help you create new Power BI report pages and visuals from the underlying semantic models, either in Power BI Service or Power BI Desktop. For quick exploration, Power BI Service gives you an easy way to start building from the semantic model, while for developing new reports for long-term use, Power BI Desktop remains a preferred approach. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and have a lovely day.